Happy Tuesday! We're going to continue with Module 5, Lesson 31, where we are adding mixed numbers. So let's get to it. I want you to begin by writing the addition sentence 6 1/4 plus 2 2/4. Always pause this video to write it down and then press resume when you're ready to go. Our first step is we want to recognize those whole numbers. We see that we have 6 wholes and we have 2 wholes. So we are going to begin by adding those whole numbers. 6 plus 2. Well, 6 plus 2 gives us 8 wholes, so we know we're going to have at least 8 whole numbers. Now we're ready to take it to the next step and add the fractions together. We want to recognize that our fractions are 1/4 and 2/4. So below your whole number addition sentence, this is running out, I want you to add 1/4 plus 2/4. As always, we do not add our denominators because we want to have that common denominator, but we do want to add our numerators, giving us the sum of 3/4. Now that you have your whole number and your fraction, you're able to put those together to equal your mixed number. We received 8 wholes in the first part, and we received 3/4 for our fraction part. So we're going to add 8 wholes plus 3/4, giving us the sum of 8 3/4. This is a standard algorithm way. Let's try another one using the standard method. I'm going to have you look to the right of our page. We have the fractions and mixed number addition sentence 7 2/4 plus 6 3/4. So we're going to take it step by step using the standard algorithm way. We want to recognize those whole numbers. We have 7 wholes and 6 wholes. So we are going to add those whole numbers together. 7 plus 6. When we add those together, we know we're going to receive at least 13 wholes. Now that we have this information, we want to begin to add our fractions. Our fractions that we have are 2/4 plus 3/4. So take a moment and add those fractions together. Well, when you add 2/4 plus 3/4, you get the improper fraction of 5/4. So we have an improper fraction and a whole number of 13. To make it a proper mixed number, we want to decompose this into 2 parts because we know we can make a whole number out of 5/4. We want to take away what a whole number would be equal to, which is 4/4 because our population is 4. When we take away 4/4 from 5/4, what do we have left over? Yes, we have 1/4 left over. Good. So I'm going to actually change 4/4 into a whole number because I know that that's what it can be equal to. And I'm going to add that back to the 13, giving us the whole number of 14. What do we still have left over to make our mixed number the sum of this original addition sentence? We still have to add the 1/4 that we have left over from our improper fraction, giving us the sum of 14 1/4. We're going to work on using number lines, so I want you to take a moment and write 2 3 sixes plus 4 1 sixes. Recognize your population, recognize the whole numbers that you'll be receiving when you add, so that we can have a better idea of how we can translate this onto a number line. Our first step always is to kind of follow that standard algorithm method at the beginning, which we want to add the whole numbers. So our whole numbers are 2 plus 4, giving us 6. So we know when we create that number line, we're going to have at least 6 parts. Now that we have that information, we want to add the fractions. So our fractions are 3/6 plus 1/6, giving us the total of 4/6. So now we're able to translate this onto a number line. We're going to write this between the whole numbers of 6 and 7 because our fraction is going to lie somewhere between 6 wholes and 7 wholes. If I were to break apart my number line into little pieces, how many pieces would I want to break it apart into? Yes, I might want to break it apart into 6 pieces because you recognized that 6 is our population that we're working with. So take a moment. We have 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6, and then of course 6 over 6 equals that next whole number of 7. So we know that we began at 6 wholes. And we have to add our sum of those fractions, which is 4 over 6. So let's take a moment. 1 over 6, 2 over 6, 3 over 6, and 4 over 6, making our fraction lie somewhere on the number line above that halfway mark and right where this dot is, giving us the sum of 6 and 4 over 6. The next addition sentence we will be working with is adding the mixed numbers 3 1/3 plus 4 2/3. I want you to begin recognizing the population as you're writing down this addition sentence, recognizing the population and recognizing the whole numbers that we're working with. Our first step is going to be adding our whole numbers together, and our whole numbers that we have are 3 and 4. 3 and 4 give us the whole number and sum of 7. So now that we have our whole numbers, we know that our fraction in our number line is going to start with 7 because we're going to receive at least 7 wholes. Now we want to take our fractions and add them up. We have 1/3 plus 2/3. When we add these together, we want to recognize that we don't change that denominator, giving us the sum of 3/3. So what you may notice is that the fraction sum, 3/3, can be changed into something else. What else can it be changed into? Yes, it can be changed into the whole number of 1 because our numerator matches that denominator, making a whole number. So what we're going to do is we are going to show this on a number line. We want to break apart our number line between 7 and 8 wholes. We're going to split our number line into pieces, and I want you to think, using our population technique, how many pieces we're going to split our number line into. Yes, we're going to split our number line into 3 parts, 1/3, 2/3, and then we know that 3/3 equals that next whole number. So let's take our 7 1/3, which would be right here, and we're going to draw an arrow of where it will land when we add the 2/3 to it. 1/3, 2/3. Our fraction lands right on the 8 or the 3/3 mark, giving us and showing us that our sum of 3 1/3 plus 4 2/3 is going to be equal to 8. So the last method we will be working with is the arrowway method. So take a moment to write down the addition sentence, 3 4 6 plus 2 4 6. When you're ready, you can resume this video. What we want to do is we want to actually put one of our whole numbers on the left side. We recognize that 2 is our whole number on the left side, so we're going to make, instead of writing 3 plus 2, we're going to just make this 5 4 6 because I'm taking away that 2 whole number in order to make a mixed number on one side. Now that I have the mixed number on one side, I can add that with my remaining fraction of 4 6. So now we have the new addition sentence looking like 5 4 6 plus 4 6. When you have this information, we can recognize, and we may recognize, that when we add our fractions together, we're going to receive above our population of 6. So this is when the arrow method comes in, where we can borrow from our 4 6. We want to make this mixed number of 5 4 6 to equal the whole number of 6. We see that there are 4 out of the 6 pieces filled out, and so how many more parts or how many more 6s do we need in order to make that a 6 over 6? Yes, we need 2 over 6 parts. And when we borrow the 2 over 6, we add these together, making our new whole number of 6. So we know that we have at least 6 wholes. Now what do I have left over after I borrow the 2 6 from the 4 6? What do I have left over? Yes, I have 2 6s left over. So I just have to attach that remainder of 2 6s to our whole number of 6, giving us the sum of 6 and 2 over 6. We're going to practice that one more time using the arrow way. I want you to write our addition sentence, 4 2/3 plus 6 2/3. Take a moment to write that addition sentence. So what we're first going to do is we're going to borrow that whole number and attach it to our left mixed number. So we're going to just attach that 6 to our left mixed number of 4 2/3. When we add the 4 and the 6, we receive the mixed number 10 2/3. So now that we have that new mixed number, we're able to rewrite our addition sentence, adding it with 2/3. 10 2/3 plus 2/3. Again, similarly to our previous question, you may recognize that when you add 2/3 plus 2/3, you're going to receive above our whole number of 3. So what we want to do is we want to borrow from our right side in order to make the 10 2/3 a new whole number, the new whole number of 11. What you may notice is that there are 2 out of the 3 pieces filled out. So how many thirds do I need in order to make 10 2/3 a new whole number of 11? Yes, I want to borrow 1/3 from our 2/3 because 1 plus 2 is going to give us the 3 over 3, meaning that we're going to have the new whole number of 11. After I borrow 1/3 from 2/3, I still have something left over. What do I have left over? So I'm just going to circle this because we know we're done working with this. What do I have left over after I borrow 1/3 from 2/3? Yes, I have 1/3 left over. So we're just going to take that remainder and attach it back to our whole number of 11. 11 plus 1/3 gives us the mixed number of 11 1/3. All 3 of these methods are great to practice, and I want you to start finding which one you feel more comfortable with, which one you want to work on more, and which one you find the most entertaining or the most fun to do. Keep working hard today and have a great job doing your math work. Bye-bye.